Well, it's not exactly what I had in mind for the first episode of Build a Game Workshop, but I think it's just as special all the same. When I first came up with the idea for this, I was definitely thinking of something more along the lines of build a roster, like you see with some of the other big YouTube channels, where you're kind of just making the roster for a fighting game. And the more I kind of thought about it, the more the idea evolved into something akin to what we're doing now, which is kind of thinking of a new line of like units, cards, whatever for existing games, like a new baseball card line for MLB The Show, or new basketball card packs for NBA 2K. What we're doing today is we're coming up with new Pokemon Masters units. It's a game that I am very fond of. It's a game that me and my girlfriend play a lot of together, and she's actually going to be here hearing some of my ideas and judging them.
Hi.
It's a very fun mobile game. I definitely think you check it out, but there are definitely some problems. And one of the bigger problems with the game, in my opinion, is just the balance of the units. Some of them just don't have enough, which is the problem we're going to attempt to tackle today. Or the ones that they have that are considered free are not nearly strong enough to compensate. And just to go ahead and get into some terminology, the free units are the units that you obtained through playing the game normally, that the game lets you unlock through completing story mode, legendary missions, stuff like that. There are also the 3 and 4 star units in the sync pair pulls, which is kind of like the gacha game, and then the generic 5-star units that are not, I guess for lack of a better term, fair exclusive units. So basically the generic 5-star units that are in every single pull. And then the premium units are the ones that you can't get in every pull. They're like fair exclusive, master fair exclusive, seasonal stuff like Halloween, Valentine's Day, Easter, and I believe that's it. Poke Fair, Master Fair, and seasonal.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. Or that are just, if a pair was free but is no longer available, I'll mention that. But that's that. So there were a couple of types that they're kind of in a precarious position, but they're fine. And if we do a second part of this episode, those will be the types we cover. Those are electric. The electric types, I think, it's got a decent enough damage dealer. It's got the terrain support, and it's got really good supports. Bug needs a free-to-play support, which is really the only thing it's missing. Same thing with fighting. Kind of needs a little bit more. It's basically fine. And then ice type. Ice is missing a good support, and probably a little bit of a better hail setup, but neither here nor there. So kind of the criteria I'm using to judge how good or bad a type is does it have a good striker that is a free-to-play unit and not a premium unit? Does it have a good support? Does it have good, buffing for the type? And if there are premium units, how, like if you're making a fairy type team, how badly are the premium units needed in said fairy type team? So, for example, grass type has no premium units. Every single unit you can get from any free-to-play mean, right? You don't have to spend a dime. Water types have like 3 free-to-play units, and while their hardest hitter is premium in Archie, you can still get by with like Nessa and Dreadnought, you can still get by with May and Swampert, so the type's fine, it's balanced. But the 4 types we have generally share a very common problem, which is, frankly, there's not enough of them. The 4 types we're going to cover, we're covering are normal, fairy, poison, and ground. We'll start with poison. There's only 7. There's only seven types, poison types in the whole game, and I believe they're at 200 and something total. So, very minor. And then when you look into kind of breaking it down more, how did I describe it to you earlier? There's 7 units. 4 of them are bad. 2 of them are a little bit better, and 2 of them are a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the only natural 5-star that Poison has is Plumeria with Salazzle, and she's not that good. I think she hits like a wet paper bag. The best damage dealer for the Poison type, in my opinion, is Lucy, who can stack Poison and who can stack Toxic Poison with Wrap. So anytime your opponent makes a move, which granted it is dependent on your opponent making a move, they're taking double damage. And Poison's just in a rough state because your other free-to-play units, you have Janine and Ariados, who's not good. You have Roxy and Whirlipede, which is just a bad striker. Koga can kind of set up evasion, but again, not that great. I know he's got I think he has an EX. I know he has a grid. Lucy is probably one of the better ones. Jesse and James were free. They're not free anymore. James is alright because he can set up poison on every member of the team, of the opposing team, with poison gas, but again, you only have one natural 5-star. So that's kind of... And I think only one poison type that can even EX go to 6 stars.
Yeah, that's not good, Chief.
Yeah, that's just rough. And Jesse and James, I don't think you can get any more.
I don't think, because I feel like they did some event and then they were like, they're going away.
Yeah.
Or something weird.
Yeah, so like there are egg units in the game, and generally speaking, people tend to recommend you stay away from them because they're not good. It's cool if you get like a shiny egg, but that's about it. The poison type is the only type in the game I have to use an egg Pokemon for, because there are 0 supports. Lucy, James, Koga, and I think Janine are techs, and then Roxy, Jesse, and Plumeria are strikers. So we need to fix that. That's going to be the first thing we tackle, and we'll go ahead and get the support out of the way. And the support I'm going with is Oleana and Garbodor, who can G-Max. So we go ahead and get G-Max Garbodor.
Who?
Oleana from Sword and Shield.
Oh, okay. I was like, you just said words.
Rose's assistant.
Yeah, the girl, yeah.
Right,
she's like
Rose's assistant who looks like she's wearing like, yeah, you've seen the meme where it's like, when your kid brings in another bullfrog and asks if he can keep it right after you got rid of the body of the first one. That's her.
No, but yeah.
Okay. Well, her ace...
No, I know who she is. I'm just saying, I don't know the meme.
No, you're good. Her ace is Garbodor, and I would make her a support type. Part of her kit, I'd give her Acid Spray, which lowers special defense by 2, and I forget what it is. I believe it's one of Ghetsis' abilities, where if he lowers it for... I'm just going to call it Extendo Range, right? I'd give Extendo Range to Acid Spray, because I believe it is only a single target.
Yeah.
So I'd make, whenever you drop the stat drop, I'd make that Extendo Range.
To all 3.
To all 3, yep. But kind of the main point for her would be, she would be the Poison Zone, Poison Wish.
Yeah.
Setup for Poison, because again, they need a lot of help, and, you know, we've seen the introduction of a lot of different zones in the game. We've gotten Steel Zone with Palatine's Marnie, Flying Zone with Anniversary Skyla, Psychic Terrain twice, but Psychic Wish technically on Anniversary May. I'm trying to think of others. Oh, Ghost Zone, Renegade Cynthia, Dragon Zone with Lucas. I believe that's it. So yeah, we definitely need like Poison, because they need that help. And I think Garbodor would be nice, and plus with the max move you can buff up special attack too. And if they do the thing with her that they do with the Galar units, where they give her 3 different attacking types or multiple different attacking types, I think maybe giving... I don't think Garbodor learns a flying move.
I don't think he does. If he does, it'd probably be something generic like Aerial Ace.
That's fine, but I would give it access to Max Airstream. Oh, no, its poison move would be its signature G-Max, which I don't remember what it does off the top of my head. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it kind of does.
It doesn't fully matter. I will look it up. I'll look it up while I talk. But the other one, I would probably give it like something like Brick Break to give it access to Max Knuckle. Garbodor G-Max move. But that's what I would do for that. Not the only Galarian unit we're going to have, but we'll get to the second one in a minute. And G-Max Malodor does... poisons all Pokemon on the target side of the field and inflicts damage. That is...
Well, I mean, what else was it going to do, though?
I believe the Poison Max move actually raises special attack. I'm not sure about that. It could be the Ghost one that raises special attack. It's Max Ooze. I know. But moving on, because that's not very important. I mean, inflicting poison to the entire zone of your opponent would be pretty good. But I think, yeah, it raises special attack by 1 stage. So, again, I would still probably give it. It has to have Max Malodor, so. But I would probably then give it. Most of the poison types are physical attackers, so I would give it a Max Knuckle and then maybe something like a generic flying type move to give it access to Max Whirlwind, boost speed as well. But on to the next one. This is the one that I put a lot of thought into, right? Mm-hmm. We kind of talked about this a little bit. Classic Giovanni and Nidoking.
Yeah, we did talk about this.
Right. Because this was the one that I was like, this could be a dual poison ground damage dealer. I decided just to make it the sync move will be poison type. But, so obviously, as I've hinted, it will be a deal hit for both poison and ground, two of the weaker types in the game. Oh, it's starting to rain. How pretty. So the 2 moves I would give it, and its 2 moves that it actually learns, I would give it Poison Jab and Scorching Sand. Because I had to look up to make sure Scorching Sand was a move Nidoking can learn. Which, do you remember what Scorching Sand does?
I'm guessing it's like Burn Scald, but it's ground type.
Correct. It is Burn. Yeah, it is one of the Gen 8 tutor moves.
Yeah, there we go. Because I was like, I've heard about it, I just don't remember it because I didn't really play that much Sword Shield because no rights.
Right. And there is precedent for other units going from a legendary pair to not a legendary pair. Zinnia went from Rayquaza to Salamence. I'm sure if they give us another Silver, they won't give him like Lugia or something. If Sycamore gets another unit, that'd be rad. If Hop gets another unit, the only other ones would be Ghetsis.
Boo, Ghetsis.
They may do In later.
Listen,
his would have to. The only units In has are legendary.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, he does have other
Steven. Steven had non-legendary, and then he got a legendary.
Well, I'm just saying, N does have a team. N does have a team that has non-legendaries in it when you fight him several times through Unova, is all I'm saying.
Right. The point is, the precedent is there, and when I say it would be classic Giovanni. So the Giovanni in the game is Rainbow Rocket Giovanni.
Yeah.
He's got the little rainbow patch. It's just the classic red patch that you see in games like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
And isn't it also the thing that started originally, was it Oros or was it the Ultra games where we originally did Rainbow Rocket?
Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
Yeah, so it's like almost like a separate timeline of him basically deciding that he is the most evil of all Giovannis and all team leaders and decided that he should just fuck up the multiverse and bring them all in to one pile of evil. So it's like kind of like a different version of him because like I feel like there's so many different Pokemon timelines at this point.
Although I have a new idea, and maybe I'll bring it up when we get to the normal types, but Orange Suit Giovanni from the anime.
Oh yeah,
from the anime.
I was like, why do I know
Orange Suit Giovanni? I mean, we got Jesse and James.
We did get Jesse and James.
But anyways, back to back to classic Giovanni and Nidoking. Obviously, the two moves would be Poison Jab and Scorching Sand. And I have two different builds. So the first build would be him as a striker. And I would give him Sheer Force as an ability. It's not one we've seen before, where Sheer Force, for those of you who don't know, in the games, you get a damage buff, but you lose the secondary effects of moves. So basically, Nidoking would just hit harder, but no burn, no poison. And I considered giving him Piercing Gaze. So Piercing Gaze in the game is a ability where your moves never miss. So basically, everything has perfect accuracy, similar to something like Swift.
Doesn't also Leon cannot have it in the game?
Leon and Signasuit Red have it on their Charizards.
Yeah.
Clement actually has it as well.
Weird.
On his little Helioptile, which is one of the reasons why, well, not him having Piercing Gaze, but Clement and Helioptile is one of the reasons I think Electric's in a good enough place, because he's a not bad free unit, but I digress. The build I'm actually more interested in is him as a tech unit. So tech units are generally disruptors.
Yeah.
Right? For lack of a better term, they're the buffers or debuffers. So I would give him Go Viral 9, which for the audience, Go Viral means anytime a status condition is inflicted on one opponent, it gets spread to the other opponent. And 9 is just the strength. So Go Viral 1 would be a 20% to spread it to all opponents. It's the number plus 10%. Or number times 10% plus 10%. So Go Viral 9 would be 100% of the time. Anytime you inflict it with a status condition, all members are inflicted. I believe both Serena units, before her and Zygarde, have Go Viral 9. I don't know of another one that does.
Yeah.
But he would be able to basically spread poison or burn. And then I would give him something that boosts his damage whenever the target is inflicted by a status condition. So kind of just like a buff whenever the opponent is either burned or poisoned, and then his sync move would do more damage whenever the target is afflicted by a status condition. And I'm phrasing it that way in case you decide to bring him in with like a Thunder Wave user or Freezer, something like that. So circling back to Galar, because that actually had some good poison types. One of the last ones is Clara and Galarian Slowbro.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a poison type user and she's not in the game yet.
And I do like her as a character.
Yeah.
Alright. I mean, I don't really care for Sword and Shield story-wise, and I won't go into that, but I do like a lot of the characters that they made, and I think a lot of the designs were interesting, and a lot of the lore they put behind them were interesting.
Right. And I know Avery in, I guess canonically his ace is Galarian Slow King, also poison psychic type, but I feel like considering he's more of a... They have essentially the same Pokemon because they're both poison psychic, but Avery is a psychic type user, Clara is a poison type user, so for the base appearance, I would like to keep it with their type. So she would be poison, he would be psychic. So the gimmick for Galarian Slowbro, it is a Galar type, so they may do the thing where it gets different moves of different types to hit different max moves, whatever. Give it, for all I care, give it psychic and Dark Pulse, whatever, I don't give a shit. The main gimmick would be utilizing its signature move, which is Shell Sidearm, which I would make a quick move. Do you remember what those are?
No.
No. Okay, so the quick moves are like Kukui's Excel Rock.
You mean just like quick attack? Like priority moves?
Kinda, but in the game you only have a certain amount of PP and they don't cost any of your energy bar.
Okay, quick.
I'm trying to think of...
No, I get you.
Oh, like Fly.
No, I get you.
Right.
I get you.
So, the whole thing with Slowbro would be its main damage dealing move is a quick move, and then it would have the quick draw ability, which, how I would translate it is, every so often, or maybe after it uses its buff, it replenishes it, or if it uses any move that costs energy, it replenishes 1 PP of your quick move. Something like that, where it replenishes your quick move PP over time, naturally. Right? I think that would kind of be the gimmick. Outside of that, again, it's not super important.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of want to get just a base kit out there. And then the last one I have is kind of a... You can make it a much more buff version of Classic Giovanni, or a much weaker, depending on how you want to go with it. But it's similar in nature to Giovanni and Nidoking, and I have Hisuian, Ingo, and Sneasler.
Warden Ingo.
Hisuian, Ingo, Warden Ingo.
What is Warden? You gotta give the man his credits.
Okay, I like Hisuian Ingo a little bit more. So,
alrighty, okay.
But anyways, it would definitely be a tech unit, and I would obviously have Dire Claw, which in Legends Arceus, it applies Drowsy, Poison, or Paralysis. In Pokemon Masters, it would apply Sleep, Poison, or Paralysis. And I would also give it Go Viral 9. Because...
You're just slapping it on shit.
I mean, I kind of mentioned this earlier, that before we started recording, that status conditions I think they're overpowered but nerfed into the ground. Like they have, especially Poison can be really good, but every major boss fight, unless it specifically wants you to use a status condition, basically has lessen status condition, lessen sleep, lessen confusion, lessen paralysis. So I almost feel like going for status conditions aren't worth it.
Yeah.
It's because the main thing you're attacking most likely has lessen, so it's yeah, you might as well throw it on there, but there's no real point in using it on the potatoes, right? The meat and potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So I just figure basically if it inflicts a status condition, you might as well just give it Go Viral and inflict all of it at once, because it kind of needs that, and then give it a similar sync move to Giovanni and Nidoking, where it's does more damage if the opponent is afflicted by a status condition. And, I think that would be very great. And Poison needs, and mind you, most of these, with the exception of Ingo, are probably set up to be not premium pairs. Ingo has a history of being a premium pair, so he will probably... Because there's Butler Ingo's coming out soon, and that's going to be a special event, so that's a premium pair. Current Ingo is a fair exclusive, so that's a premium pair. Giovanni's been free, Elena could be free, Clara can be free, all that stuff. But I think just having those three, a much better tech, a decent strike, and a good support will really that's the basis of what they need. Problem is just there's not a lot of poison specialists, so in order for more units to get in the game, you're going to have to get creative with who gets what.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like they've kind of just given people random stuff for funsies a lot.
They do, but I would like to get some...
ones that make sense, not just themes this is cute.
Right, because I could just be you know what, Brendan is going to get Swalot.
Yeah.
Or Lance... You know what Lance needs? He needs himself a... Dragalge, yeah.
I don't know. I
love
just start
saying
things.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, give Lance a Dragalge, right? You're just pulling out of a hat.
Yeah.
The next type, it's in a very similar boat with Poison, except probably worse. It's redeemed in the fact that its premium pairs are good. Oh, our cat has just decided to bundle himself up in our little card stash.
Oh, it's okay. You can continue. I'll get it.
I know. Yeah, it is... it's not in a pretty shape. There's only 5... The type we're talking about is ground. Right? It's the ground type. There's only 5 ground type units in the game, and 3 of them are premium.
Yeah, it's not very
We
good.
do not have a free 5-star for ground. The only 2... free ground types are Hapu and Mudsdale, who is a striker, who should not be a striker.
Yeah.
Honestly, if they tweaked Hapu into being more of a support, because she already gets a trainer move that buffs her defense up to 6. So that does not scream attack.
Yeah, no.
And then you have Clay with Seismitoad, which it should have been Excadrill. And spoiler alert, Clay is on this list. And I did not give him Excadrill because the premium units, we have Cynthia, who is a fair exclusive. Cynthia and Garchomp. We have Ingo and support Excadrill, which is why I did not give it to Clay, because
we already have one.
We already have a support Excadrill. I know the precedent has been set with multiple Striker Charizards, that doesn't mean I wanted to do it.
And it's also like the Charizard thing is so like a weird Pokemon issue currently, so it's like we'll just disregard it and pretend it's an outlier and shouldn't exist, you know?
And then we have Maxie with Groudon, who another issue with the ground types is they synergize very well with Sandstorm.
And there's no Sandstorm user really that's like easy to get out.
Right, Ingo is a Sandstorm user.
He is now.
Ingo is a Sandstorm user. He's the best Sandstorm unit in the game, and he's premium. The only free unit that can make sand that is not an egg is Acerola. Acerola with Palisand. And the reason she made that noise is Acerola and Palisand is regarded as one of, if not the worst 5-star unit in the entire game.
Yeah, probably shouldn't have been a 5-star.
I agree with that statement. And the best of these by a country mile, like the best support's Ingo, but the best unit's Groudon.
Yeah.
It buffs its own attack, it hits very hard. It does not use sand. As a matter of fact, it automatically sets up sun.
Well, yeah, I mean...
So
it's
obviously,
Groudon, yeah.
Right, it's Groudon, but the best attacker for a type that needs sand disregards sand very hard, so it needs a little more help, obviously. So we're going to start with that, with Bertha and Hippowdon.
Bertha, Elite Four lady.
Yep. The Sinnoh Elite Four is disregard. Like, most people don't remember it because they all had very bad teams. Bertha and Hippowdon from Legends Arceus. She was the leading lady who also had the Gengar. So it was kind of hinted at that lady was the ancestor of both Bertha and Agatha from Kanto. I don't really have too many notes about the ground types because, frankly, we just need more of them and just, free-to-play options, because your best options right now are, like, May with her ground-type move, or Clement has Mud Slap.
Good for Clement.
Yeah, good for Clement. Leon has, like, your options for ground-type moves are not very much.
Yeah, no.
So even just having a good support that's free helps.
Yeah, I'm sorry the rest of you couldn't get Cynthia.
Yeah, and Cynthia...
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's like... Or Maxie, because it's like, if you have Cynthia, you at least have a striker. If you have Maxie, you at least have a striker. If you don't have either, you're screwed, bro. You're screwed. Let's talk about some strikers, actually. I only have one on my list, because I felt getting more supports was more imperative, but I would want I'm going to say special, but it could be like a Battle Point ticket exchange that we get. So I'm going to say Special Leer with Crocodile.
Okay.
Who we see Crocodile with Leer in the story. He drops it off after it ties with Iris's Haxorus. Because I know somebody used Crocodile, and canonically, one of the only users I could find that wasn't a generic NPC was Grimsley.
Yeah.
We don't need a fourth Grimsley.
Yeah,
I
love him.
We already have 3 Grimsleys, and all 3 Grimsleys are in good typings.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even going to say Dark Grimsley is bad. I think Water Grimsley is bad. Steel Grimsley is good, and part of the reason why that type from a new player or a just beginning player can make a steel type team. And I should go ahead and say, like, having a mono type team is important, because for things like the championship stadium or hard level content that requires these typings, like, I feel like that's necessary. Because if you want, there's 3 units that you get these 3 units, you're fine, right? 2 of them are premium, but you build a team of Summer Marnie, Professor Sycamore, and Redlax, right? Max them out, do all that stuff. That team right there does 100% of the content. Any battle in the game, you can clear it with that team. And that's just not fun, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, and also it's like recently, I feel like we've had back-to-back Poison Weeks in Championship Stadium, and we have like And I think they released like results of like the most used poison types. The most used poison types don't exist. People just use either the data isn't there, or they use placeholder Signasuit red, blue, and green, or they legitimately, for poison types, they're using Signasuit red, Signasuit blue, and Signasuit green. Which is,
not good.
Right, not good. So yeah, Leer and Crocodile, I would probably not make... I would either give it Extendo range if it's a fair, because Leer is a fair unit, but I would rather this be a 4-star that ends up in the battle point thing.
Yeah.
Because we need more ground type units. There's only 5. Another battle point unit would be Special Clay and Golurk. Again, it could be like just another Signasuit. It could be a Signasuit deal, kind of like Grimsley, or like Grimsley's Kimono. Could be like a Halloween thing, although I would rather it not be, or it could be a battle point thing, because again, there's precedent where Erica had Vileplume, she got a Tangela. Morty had Drifblim, he got a Mismagius. Zinnia had Rayquaza, she got Salamence. Lieutenant Surge had Voltorb, but then he got Raichu. So precedent is set for trainers to get same type Pokemon. And again, I think Golurk could be a very interesting support, almost like an inverse of Acerola and Palisand, because it's Ground Ghost. But other than that, I don't really have a lot of big moves for it. Just set up. And then one thing I changed, because we talked about this. We talked about this pair of units getting in. Because remember, we said Classic Maxi with Camerupt.
Yeah.
Right, for a tech unit. And that would give us Classic Archie with Sharpedo.
Yeah.
And it could both Mega. I thought about it, and I'm like, what could be better and would probably actually give us free unit? Courtney and Camerupt.
That would work, but I also don't...
And then Matt with Sharpedo.
Well, it also makes more sense, because I don't think that if we did Classic that they need to Mega. If they're Classic, then they can't Mega, to me.
Right.
To me, they need to be in the Oros universe in that timeline where they use Megas versus the original Gen 3 timeline, which does not include Megas.
Right.
Because if you're going to do that, they shouldn't Mega whatsoever. So I agree with that would work if you used... I guess they're like, the team lead... Not the team leaders, but like...
admins.
There we go. I was like the admins.
Right. Courtney was the girl with pink hair who was kind of like robotic.
And insane, yes.
Yeah. And then Matt's the ripped dude.
Yeah.
It could be Shelly, I forget which one. I think both admins actually have the Mega Evolving.
I think they do, because Shelly's in a lot of it too.
Yeah.
And Shelly's just constantly there giving her 2 cents and being cool with her cool blue hair, like her 2-toned hair.
Yeah. By the way, if you think of any suggestions for these types, feel free to shout them out,
Yeah.
Right. So now we move on to the normal type, which has been also shafted, but for obvious reasons, it can't hit anything for weakness.
Yeah, so it's
but
not
even
like
even
crying
right,
about
but
it.
even then, so we have 8 units in the game, right? So
more than ground,
more than poison. So we got Whitney and Miltank, Norman and Slacking, Cheryl and Blissey, Cherim and Stoutland, who was a 5-star, free 5-star, and then Leaf and Eevee, who is a decent little support. And then in terms of, we also have Gladian, who is a free-to-play unit. He's in the Scout. We have Redlax, who is premium, and then we have Easter May with Lopunny, who half counts because after her first sync move, she becomes a fighting type.
Oh, yeah, because she Megas.
Right, it's Mega Lopunny. Redlax is the best support in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just got him.
Right, I've mentioned to you kind of privately, like, hey, I think Redlax, makes any team better. And he does. He boosts super effective next. He has defense down on Brick Break.
Mini Potion
all. And then he has Max Replenish, which replenishes his trainer actions. So he can do this theoretically many, many more times than a regular trainer could. All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Makes every team better. Outside of that, you have Gladian, whose entire gimmick is that he changes types and nothing else.
Yeah.
granted, I know normal is kind of like not a super cool type, but I kind of took the concept of Redlax and worked from there, because normal type teams should still have a chance, right?
Huh.
Outside of just niche support, not niche support, outside of support.
Yeah.
That being said, the very first unit I'm making is a support. I said special Whitney with Blissey. I would have loved to have given this to just buff Miltank this, like change Miltank to be this. Because it's so hard to think of Whitney with something without Miltank. But there are not that many normal trainers.
Yeah.
And the ones that I don't have mentioned, the ones that aren't in the game, I have a team for, which there's only like 2. So we had to start getting duplicates, so it's Whitney. I would make, and I literally wrote this down, I would make Blissey the best healer in the game with some defensive buffs. So I would give her Soft Boiled and Potion All.
Not mini potion, just potion all.
Potion All, yep. Like, I would also give her 0 attacking moves.
Yeah.
Like, whatsoever.
So she can't defend, she can just only
She
heal.
can only heal.
Basically
right?
heal slave.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then I would give her Attract.
Yeah.
On a Blissey. Because that fits. That's something I wish they did with Miltank. And Pokemon Masters is very simplified Pokemon, so I think you could get away with Attract not being perfectly the way that it would be. Or even then, it's, for the most part, Pokemon's genders match that of their trainers.
I don't see the difference. Love is love meme. Edward from Full Metal Alchemist.
Anyways, but yeah, I said Soft Boiled would be a quick move potion, so you couldn't just constantly spam it.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Because that would be so broken. So broken.
Although they get your team to actually having that impenetrable wall. I do like the sound of that.
Okay, nobody's going to do this. This is not going to be a realistic
I
thing.
know.
Come on now.
I'm just saying. Right, it's hypothetical. Why not live a little large?
Why not live a little?
Why not live a little large? So next is Ilma. The normal, normal trial captain from Alola.
I was like, I know this person because they're like super.
The
they're
twink
such
with
a
the
twink.
peach.
I was gonna say. I literally was just gonna say twink. Jesus Christ.
The twink with the peach hair.
Yeah. No. Yeah. He is extra flamboyant. Our man.
No, he's not. He is so down to earth. What are you talking about? Extra flamboyant. He just has peach hair.
Okay.
He's
Okay, you don't know the vibe. You don't get them vibes off of him the way I do.
Okay. He would be a tech unit, and I would give him In's extendo range, because the 2 moves I would give him would be Hyper Fang and Super Fang.
You're just saying that this man should just be able to half everybody in the whole stadium's HP?
Yes.
Why? That's insane.
It's not insane.
That's pretty crazy.
It's a normal type. It's hitting nothing. It's hitting nothing for weakness.
Regardless of type, then that means that you have a completely neutral, immediate half of a full team. Immediate.
Yes.
That's bananas, Gwen Stefani.
You could make it more.
You would have to at least lessen it a little bit, because half HP regardless to any unit.
Then maybe it doesn't have In's extendo range, but. Or maybe it doesn't work on bosses.
Because I'm like,
it should work on bosses.
I disagree. That kind of starts cheesing the whole game real bad. Especially if it's like, oh, it doesn't really matter what team I put this on, because I'm just going to put this little twink boy on everything, and he's going to have everybody's HP, and then I'm going to fucking slam dunk him with whatever other unit I want to use on whatever team. And it's just going to be like the thing that you just said before, where there's like a team that's not fun. And you just slam dunk the whole game with that team.
Maybe it's a quick move.
Maybe it's a quick move.
Yeah, maybe it's a quick move. Maybe it's a quick move and it can't. Well, obviously it can't kill.
Well, yeah, but still,
it's still
the concept.
Right,
broken.
there's timing to it, but I still think he should have Super Fang. Because again, the thing about the normal types is, once they came out, they have been doo-doo ass until Red came out. Like, yeah, Leaf was fine as a support, but I don't think anybody really used her. Especially when Sycamore came out, nobody really used her. because she's a worse Sycamore.
Because Sycamore is ballin'.
Mm-hmm.
Sycamore.
And then Redlax came out, Red and Snorlax, and, crushed the game. So let's get another normal type out there who can crush. Speaking of probably another normal type a little broken, Lenora and Wachog.
I don't want to talk about Wachog.
Can you guess what I'm going to have it do?
Confusion and hypnosis and hyper or super fang.
Half right. I gave it sleep with hypnosis, yawn, whatever. Sleep, confuse ray, go viral 9.
See, what is you go viral 9? Everything.
I told
it's
you,
like drugs.
Yeah, it's like drugs because it's the only way to make the fucking status conditions worth it.
Okay.
Believe me, if there was a unit that could do toxic poison, go viral 9 for poison types, God, that'd be so necessary.
You're like, man, I wish all these free units were the most broken things in the whole game.
Some of these will not be free, but...
Okay, I'm just saying, even some of them, like, holy crap,
even then,
man.
like, for something like Ilma and Gumshoes, right, like, that is a tech unit. And you could honestly make it support. Because it would not hit hard. Same thing with Lenora.
Hitting half is hitting hard! I'm sorry. There's no way around this. If regardless of HP, because again, then that means that you could have Ilma at like level 10, and it's like, oh, here's the level 120 boss, and Ilma's like gut punches the bitch.
Yeah, but if you were in that situation, you would still get clapped.
I guess.
Maybe.
The point that I'm trying to make is still there.
Yeah, but Lenora and Watchog would not hit hard. It would be kind of, the sync move does more damage whenever opponent is afflicted by a status condition, and again, it's a Wachog. It's not... Wachogs don't hit hard. It's a fucking early route Pokemon. But what would hit hard, though, is the last normal type suggestion I have, which is Special Norman and Mega Kangaskhan.
Oh yeah, you talked about this.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Mega Kangaskhan's gimmick is that it hits twice. So I would just have it hit twice, and the second hit only does half damage after it megas. But it would specifically be 2 hits because I'm giving it the broken combo from competitive Pokemon.
Yeah.
Power Up Punch.
Yeah.
I give it Power Up Punch and Chip Away.
Yeah, that's pretty messy there.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Chip Away in the games, it basically ignores the opponent's buffs and debuffs. So it ignores evasion, it ignores defense,
any effects.
Right. So it basically evasion and defense.
Yeah.
Because that's really the only ones that matter. And again, the whole point of it would be hit hard. It would obviously be a striker. In case I didn't mention that. But also because it megas, the sync move tends to do less damage. So there is that. On to the last type. Fairy. So earlier, when I mentioned part of the criteria for being a bad type is the disparity between the premium and the free units, the Fairy type has 11 users, 11 Pokemon. 7 of them are premium. Your free units are Mina and Gramble, Valerie and Sylveon, Professor Sycamore and Xerneas, who is one of the best supports in the game, and Lily and Clefairy. So you have...
Isn't Sylveon not very good? Same with Grundle.
Yeah, they're both bad. And as a matter of fact, until Sylveon came out, I don't know if Lily was out by then, but Sycamore definitely wasn't. So your only options were a premium unit and a very bad Granbull.
Yeah.
Your premium units are Holiday Erica with Comfey, Summer Lyra, Jigglypuff, Easterberg with Togepi, Palentine's Dawn and Serena with Alcremie and Whimsicott respectively, Diantha and Summer Marnie, who is one of the best units in the game. Obviously, there is a huge disparity between the premium and the free. You don't have a damage dealer.
Yeah.
You have the best support in the game, and the best support in your game is also your only damage dealer.
Yeah, and Sycamore doesn't really hit hard. Like, he's great at what he does, but he doesn't really hit like
Right.
that.
Exactly. So I have quite a bit of support. So let's start with let's start with one of these that I want to go ahead and get off the table because I don't have a moveset for it. Special Mallow with Shiny Slurpuff.
How would we get there?
Mallow is a cook.
Okay.
And Shiny Slurpuff looks like an ice cream sundae.
That's cute. Okay.
And also, Tea Time Sonia has Mallow's ace but shiny. So I was like, Mallow deserves some love.
Right.
Krakatoa from the outside.
Loud sounds.
Loud thunder. So I don't really have anything for it. Maybe some sort of like berry mechanic. Whatever.
Food related.
Give it Belch for all I care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Give it something, but Shiny Slurpuff with a special Mallow. Maybe for next year's Palantines.
That'd be cute. That'd work out.
Yeah. Another special unit I have. Special Olivia with Tapu Lele.
Interesting.
Tapu Lele is the Tapu of Olivia's Island, which is how I got there.
I figured.
And I'd give it Nature's Madness.
Okay.
The sync move I would do would be the Guardian of Alola Z move, where it just knocks 75% off the life bar, but it can't kill.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do for that.
That's still quite a bit, though. But like if it's 75% total, then that could be at any point of that life bar. Because if it's taking away from
It's
the total,
75%, I guess, of what's left.
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
75%
that's why I was like,
of what's
when you
left.
phrase it that it's a little different.
Right, how it works
Yeah.
in the games, and I would assume you'd give it some sort of damaging move like Psychic or Dazzling Gleam, but give it that. So let's move into something I actually have a sort of a set for. I'm ignoring your brain rot until last.
I figured it's because you don't want me to. You want me to pay attention as long as you can get me to pay attention before we start talking about it.
Right. So I have Special Mina with Rabombi.
Okay.
Gramble is not her ace. Which
I don't.
Me, her ace is Rabombi.
Yeah, I don't
Her ace
understand.
has always been Rabombi.
They just make decisions
almost,
up in here.
So her ace in Let's Go is actually a Alolan Ninetales. So I
weird.
almost gave her that. It's also technically also Mr. Mime, but her ace in the Ultra games is Rabombi. So I wanted to give her Rabombi. She is a tech unit with Pollen Puff and Moonblast.
What does Pollen Puff do again? It does something.
Depending on who you target, either damages or heals.
There we go.
So
yeah,
that
it does
the
something
mechanic.
weird.
So that's what I wanted to do is if you target the opponent with it,
It damages it, and then if you
but you could choose to do it as a heal, and I would almost set that up like a train. So basically, 2 of her slots would be taken up by Pollen Puff. You would have the damaging Pollen Puff and then the healing Pollen Puff.
Okay.
So damaging Pollen Puff, you select healing Pollen Puff, or it's wherever you're targeting, and then healing Pollen Puff, you could target basically any of them. We'll stay including yourself. Right, but I would give her that, and then give her Moonblast to hit to justify the fairy hit, because she needs to be fairy. We don't need more bug types, and there's already a bug type Rabombi, and there's precedence for Pokemon changing types. Zinnia's Rayquaza hits Dragon, Steven's Rayquaza hits Flying.
Yeah.
Right. Opal and G-Max Alcremie.
I think Opal needs to be in the game, but I just imagine her straight up being like, "Oh, Passio seems nice. I'm gonna go retire. Have fun, Bede. Get bent," and then she's just like goodbye and goes to Passio because she's a little old lady and has a good time and apologizes to no one.
Yep. She would be. I either have a supporter or a tech. It doesn't matter which. She would be the Fairy Wish, which for terrains that match would just set up the terrain. We see that with Anniversary May where her Latios' Psychic Wish just sets up Psychic Terrain. So she'd be the Psychic Terrain setup. She could set it. I don't know if her... Because I know that her Fairy-type G-Max move does not set up Terrain. So I would just give her like a normal terrain boost, and then whatever her G-Max move does can do that. Heal your entire side, whatever. Doesn't matter. Again, I want to save your brain rot for last. We are going to Hisui, though. Kojita and Enamorous.
Okay, Worm. We love the immortal MILF.
Obviously, Fairy is very new, so it's very hard to pull units out of without just giving random trainers, random Pokemon.
I don't know if Kojita's random with Enamorous at all.
I know, but hey, why don't we give Brendan Mega Altaria?
Well, okay, again, you already used Brendan for Swalot. This is a double example, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It's okay. Continue. It's okay.
What if we used Rosa with Aromatisse?
I mean, I'm just saying, Kojita at least is
Kojita's not
seen.
Random, right? She's seen with Enamorous, right?
Yeah, so she's like, oh, take care of my weird, crazy, freaky deaky genie lady while I go be immortal in a corner.
Right. So her main gimmick, she would be a tech unit, and then I have her main gimmick switching between forms. Kind of similar to how Morpeko switches types when it's
between
using... Right.
Therian.
Right, so Morpeko switches types between Electric and Dark. Its Aura Wheel move does the same thing whenever you use a Sync move. So the first Sync move is Electric, and then it becomes Hangry, and then the Wheel and its Sync move become Dark, and then when you use it again, it becomes not Hangry, so it's Electric type again, like that. So the Sync move would change it from Therian and Genie form, right? Yeah. The other gimmick based off that I would do is basically Legends Arceus gimmick with Strong Style and Agile Style.
That'd be wild.
So the Genie form would hit harder. Maybe its moves would cost, let's say standardly it would be 3 bars. It instead costs 2. Mm-hmm. And then the Strong Style would hit harder, but it would cost 4.
Yeah.
Right? And then its main move would be the Springtide Storm, which would deal AoE damage.
Yeah.
So it would be an AoE damage dealer that can either hit really, really hard or really, really often.
Yeah.
For not that hard.
Yeah, for just get the speed and to whittle away.
Right. And I think you could control that with your Sync move. And that would be, again, it's something that has been done before, maybe not to this extent, but I think it would be cool.
It'd be an interesting gimmick to work in Hisui.
Now your brain rot.
Okay, so
do you want to announce it?
So we had to save this for last because Judson knows that I need to pay attention, and if I start talking about any of this, I will just immediately go down to brain power 0, because I want to be Cynthia's ancestor, baby. Give me my hot evil merchant who stabbed me in the back. I would take he can have whatever kidney he wants. I don't need either one of them. I just exist in this mortal plane. He wants to meet Arceus. I'll let him meet Arceus, baby. Fucking Volo with Togekiss. Pokemon Legends Arceus, give me my man back, Game Freak, you cowards.
So specifically, this is going to be Ginto Guild Volo.
Ginkgo
Guild, right. Volo with Togekiss. Because I feel like Cultist Volo would have Arceus.
Or, like, Origin Form Giratina.
Right.
Just especially to be a weird, like, alternative to Cynthia.
Right. So Merchant Volo.
Yeah.
With Togekiss. I made him a Galar type trainer. He is a striker. So he hits for 3 types. I gave him... Oh, sorry, he only hits for 2 types.
Oh, okay.
My bad. I gave him 3 attacking moves.
Okay.
Because I wanted to do something like Serene Grace, but I could not justify giving him Air Slash over a certain move that the other Togekiss did, and that I really wanted to incorporate, which was Tri-Attack. So he's got Fairy Shifted Tri-Attack, Moonblast, and Aura Sphere.
But not a flying? Okay, interesting.
Yeah. I like Tri-Attack just as a gimmick and as a move, and I think, again, status condition, great. I didn't give him Go Viral 9.
Okay, yeah.
He's a striker. I don't think he should have Go Viral 9.
No, everybody else should just boost him.
I think Tex should have Go Viral 9.
Yeah, I mean, this is my secret backstrike technique.
Right. Tex should have Go Viral 9 because their sync moves get boosted by it. Because
Yeah.
a lot of techs have that caveat on their sync move, and that's why you see them called sync nukes sometimes, because you EX them and then you line up their conditions to boost their sync move power, and it just wipes
The whole field.
Right, it just wipes people. So, like Giovanni and Nidoking, I'd have them as a tech. Wachog and Lenora would be a tech. The other person who I gave Go Viral 9 to, Warden, Ingo, and Sneasler. But Volo and Togekiss would just hit Fairy Fighting, because whenever you think of Togekiss, for me personally, I always think of Aura Sphere
And I get
as its
that,
move,
but
like Aura Sphere and Moonblast.
See, but I do think of Air Slash, but that's also because I was like I was
it's the Cynthia one, and to be honest,
and it's
if we ever cover flying type, I would love to see Cynthia's Togekiss be a flying type, but like a battle pair unit.
Yeah.
And let it have like the flinching bullshit.
Also, listen to me, Dina. Look me in the eyes, developer of Pokemon Masters. Game Freak is too scared to put my boy back into the game or give me DLC.
Okay,
I need you to do this for me.
Get off your soapbox.
I need you to do this for me.
Yeah, do you have any suggestions you want to shoot out there, or are you just happy we finally got to your brain rot?
I'm just happy I got to finally send out my PSA.
Hear my idea for your brain rot, right?
Yeah.
For Volo. Again, if you have any cool ideas, one I wanted to do was like appears with toxicity, but I almost could not justify it being poison. I almost feel like it would be better as an electric type, because its signature move is an electric type.
Well, then we will save that for another video then.
Right. Just kind of a spoiler for whenever I get to it, but I was thinking Overdrive, which is an AoE move, and then probably like Poison Shifted Boom Burst, which is another move it's very much known for.
Yeah.
But I would rather it hit electric than poison, especially because if the 4 poison types I made get into the game, there would be no need for Toxicity to be poison. And even then, I feel like it could be a better... and again, I would be happy with it either way. I know Poison Shift is... The type shift is generally reserved for whatever type it's going to hit with its sync move. But trying to do Electric Shift Boom Burst means you got to knock off Overdrive, and then you have two AoE moves that hit for about the same amount of damage. You know, Boom Burst hits a little bit more, but I would rather just have Poison Boom Burst, Electric Overdrive, and then because it's Galar, I would give it another AoE move to hit maybe something like, I don't think it gets Earthquake, and I don't know if it gets Surf, but like one of those two.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we do another episode, because you know, there's really these only 4 types are the ones that need fixing. Because if we do another episode, we're getting into the ones where it's like, well, they're really fine, but they can use like a couple of extra types, you know. And like I mentioned, those would be Electric. And just to kind of go through why I think they're okay, you have a good support in Rotom, you have good techs with Clement, you'll have your terrain setup with Volkner, who can double as your damage dealer, and you could also use normal Alessa as a damage dealer if you wanted, and you have another good support in the battle pair ticket, Surge and Raichu. So Electric's fine. Like, it could use a little help, but other than that, it's fine. The other thing with Electric is, arguably its best damage dealer can't take advantage of terrain, because the best damage dealer is New Year's Volkner. And you can't use 2 Volkners.
Yeah.
So that's kind of rough.
Week of Dina to not let me use all 3 Cynthias at once in a nonsensical team.
Yeah.
I just want everybody on YouTube to know this right now, that I definitely originally got Pokemon Masters for Cynthia, and then proceeded to get all 3 of the premium pairs that Cynthia's in, and spent real world money on it. And I will do the same for my man Volo, because as you can see, we have been a Cynthia stan for a very long time.
Yeah.
It corrupts thee.
Yeah. Ice is another type. It's got its tail. Candace has gotten better since getting her grid and her EX. She's a free Hail setup, Hala deals a lot of damage, Getsis deals a lot of damage. The main weakness for that is support, but it does have a support in Glacia, who is probably number 2 on the worst 5-star sync pair list, but she's not completely useless, I will say. Still, Ice is in a better shape than some of the rest of these types that I listed. You know, obviously its best Hail setups are Premium in Summer, Steven, and Holiday Nessa. You can argue if Holiday Leon's better than Hala. I personally don't think so. I like Hala. Great damage dealer right out of the gate. You just have to pair him with something that can accelerate move gauge without boosting speed, and you're golden. Fighting is another type that's in pretty good shape. It's got good, like, Bay is free, Wally is free, Corinna and Lucario is free, Brawly's free, Maylene is free. Like, Brawly's a decent tech, Maylene is an underrated support. I love her.
Isn't Cynthia also, she has the, is it Dragon, or isn't Komodo?
Komodo is Dragon.
Oh, it is Dragon,
Pure
okay.
Dragon in the game.
Okay, weird.
Yeah, no, in mainline games it's Dragon fighting, but in this game it's pure Dragon.
It's always one of those things where, like, my brain's like,
But yeah, Wally's real good, Bay's real good. It only has 2 premium units, which are both, you know, its best damage dealers, but you can't go wrong. Again, when you only have 2 and they're both strikers, you know, fighting might need a little bit of help, but it's better. It's better than normal. It's better than, in terms of free units, it's better than Fairy. It's definitely better than Ground or Poison.
Ground or Poison do be struggling. They do be out here.
They do be struggling.
They do be out
and
here.
And then the last type is Bug. Bug has a lot of good techs and a lot of good strikers. Berg, Guzma, Lusamine.
Mommy.
With Lusamine, with Pheromosa. The big knock is the free support that it had in Bugsy and Scyther. I don't think is available anymore because it was a free event.
Oh, it was. That's weird.
But Bugsy and Scyther is a very good support. It accelerates move gauge. I believe it boosts evasion. I know it boosts crit, and it has Leer.
Yeah.
So it fucks. It fucks as a unit. But those would be the next 4 we'd cover. So thank you guys for joining me. This has been over an hour long, which I am excited for because this is the kind of content I want to start making, which is just more audio listening type content, more kind of, for lack of a better term, radio show style, where, you know, I feel like what I say is more important than what's on the screen.
Yeah.
And that's just been the kind of person I've been. I mentioned a little bit in the Sports Genie video that I'm battling with a bout of perfectionism, where I'm struggling to kind of match the very, very unrealistic high expectations I have on myself for these videos, so I'm trying to do something different that makes me happy. And this is the medium ground I'm trying. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully, you know, I'd love to hear your feedback. If there's any other units of these types you'd like to see in the game, drop a comment below. You know, leave a like, subscribe, dislike, you know, that helps too. Just any sort of feedback. And I hopefully will see you guys in the next video, which will be the Marvel Revengers Build-A-Game Workshop. And until next time, drive safe, everyone.